So, Melanie, thank you for joining. I would ask you to introduce yourself and to tell us about your job and what you do at the distillery.
Okay, well, my name's Melanie Stanger, and I work at Springbank Distillers, which is based in Campbelltown. I've worked for the company for 5 years, and within that time I've been focusing on the markets in Europe. So I've had great fun travelling around all the countries that make up the European Union. I travel talking about whisky, so it's the perfect job.
So, if you would have to explain somebody what's the special thing about Springbank, what makes you outstanding and unique, what would you say?
Well, really, the list is endless when it comes to Springbank, because there are so many things that are unique about Springbank Distillery. I could keep you talking here for all day, I think. But to narrow it down, for me, what's really important is the fact that we do everything in-house. So we're the only distillery in Scotland that can say that we malt 100% of our barley using traditional malt floors in Springbank Distillery in Campbelltown. And then every single stage of the process happens on the same site at Springbank Distillery in Campbelltown, right down to the bottling. And we do that with, believe it or not, 70 employees. So when you compare that to more modern production, it's very unusual to employ that number of people. So the distillery is actually the largest private employer in Campbelltown, which is a town of 6,000 people. And that's very much what the owner, Mr. Wright, wants. Is he's had a very present lifestyle, and he wants to give something back to the people of Campbelltown. So the distillery has a very fond place in lots of people's hearts.
And you're doing different styles at the distillery under different brand names. So there's Springbank, which is, let's say, the core range, the core brand, and then there are two other ones.
Yep. So in total, for example, last year we produced about 150,000 litres, which sounds a lot, but an average size distillery will produce about 1 million litres a year. And within that 150,000 litres, about 80% was Springbank, which is our best known. It's a lightly peated single malt, which is distilled 2.5 times, which is another very unusual point. Also as well, it produces Hazelburn and Longrow, and we produce about 10% of each of these. And Hazelburn is very unusual for a Scottish single malt because it's triple distilled and it's unpeated. And then Longrow is at the other end of the scale, where it's distilled twice, but the barley is more heavily peated.
Okay. And the latest Hazelburn release you did is a 9-year-old. Can you tell us something about it? Because it's not in the shops here right now.
Not yet, no. It will be coming, yeah. No, there's definitely some coming to Austria and Germany. So basically it's a 9-year-old Hazelburn Barolo. So it spent 6 years maturing in a bourbon casks, and then 3 years maturing in Longrow Red wine casks. And it's cask strength, about 57%.
Okay.
So, and you get a lovely marrying of the Hazelburn, which is lovely and light and smooth, with the lovely red wine notes, as you'd expect.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me to ask you that question. What's up with the Longrow Red? Because it's overdue, isn't it?
You're quite correct, it is overdue. Those very lucky people who were at the Campbelltown Malts Festival in May of this year have actually already sampled it. And so it was sampled at the tasting there, and it went down really well, but we felt that we just wanted it to marry a bit longer in the casks. So don't worry, it is coming out, but it's just been postponed to Easter 2017.
Easter 2017.
Yeah, Easter 2017.
And can you tell us what will be in there? Which cask are you using, or is it still a secret?
It's still a secret.
Okay, good.
But it's lovely.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Now, the last question I wanted to ask is, you are already running a new distillery in Campbelltown now, Glengyle. Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
Well, Glengyle is actually a reopened distillery. It was reopened in 2004. And I say reopen because the buildings were actually built in 1872, but unfortunately it had to close due to the economic downturn in the 1920s, and so everything was sold. So when Mr. Wright bought it in 2000, he just bought a shell, and it took 4 years and about £4 million to get it up and running. And so I'm delighted to say that earlier this year we launched our first core product for that distillery, which is the 12-year-old Kilkerran single malt.
Which was very well received.
Yeah, it was lovely and very, very popular.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there something new coming from there in the next few months or so?
Yes, there is. Don't worry. So basically, when we're doing a range, we try to have a minimum of 2 products.
Okay.
So that's, for example, why, like with Hazelburn, we've got the 10-year-old and the Hazelburn Barolo. And then now with the Kilkerran, we've got the 12-year-old, and then we have a cask strength that will be coming out in the first half of 2017. So we're busy taking samples of that at the moment to try and decide what we're going to choose.
Well, then thank you for your time, and have a nice day here in Glengyle, and hope to see you soon again.
Thank you.